Okay guys, this is lesson 55 and we are basically dividing fractions like you did in years past. This time we've got letters involved, so it's nothing to be scared of, and it's just the same rules that you already know. Okay, so like they have this fraction, a over b over c. Okay, all that means is a over b divided by c, okay? And let's recall, when we divide fractions, we multiply by the reciprocal, okay? I'll just give you a little quick example over here. You don't need to write this down, but maybe I'll do it over here where I can reach better. Okay, so just like if you had 4/5 over 7, okay? What we would do is take that apart and do 4/5. Instead of divided by 7 over 1, we would multiply it by 1/7, right? We multiply by the reciprocal. So 7 goes downstairs, and there we go. And you would have 4/35. Okay, that's all we're doing for this, okay? So when they say to simplify the reason, let's look at this. They're saying B and C are not 0. They're just telling us that because if they were 0, then we have basically what I like to say is it's illegal. Remember, you can't divide by 0. So B and C cannot equal 0, or this whole thing is not going to be legit. So they're telling us that they're not 0, so that means we're free to move on. Okay, there's my thumbs up. Maybe this, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to see how to work with video and make it a little more fun. Okay, so what we're doing is A over B divided by basically C over 1, right guys? Okay, but when we divide fractions, we multiply, we change it to a multiplication problem. Remember, we don't do anything to the first fraction, that always stays the same. And we invert the other fraction or get its reciprocal. Okay, so when we are all done, we're going to end up with A over BC. Okay, so what we've just learned is this simplified looks like this. Okay, I'm just using your fraction rules. Now the book is a little confusing the way they explain it, so I just like to go back to what you know, back to old school dividing fractions, and then just apply that rule to variables. Okay, same thing with this. We're going to divide 1 over C divided by 1 over B. And again, C and B cannot be equal to 0, or else this would be, it wouldn't work, okay? It would be illegal, or I don't know why I am totally blanking on the term. Anyway, it wouldn't work. Okay, so 1 over C divided by, this is 1 over B. Okay, that equals 1 over C times B over 1, which equals B over C. Okay, so 1 over C divided by 1 over B simplifies to something that looks a lot better, B over C. Okay, all right, let's look at this one. A divided by 1 over C. Again, C can't be equal to 0, or else it's illegal. A divided by 1 over C. And we could put the 1 over under the A just to give you place value. So that's the same as A over 1 times, now we invert the 1 over C, and that's C over 1, which is AC. We could put over 1, but that's not very, that would be extra. So we don't need to put the over 1. So basically this complex fraction can be simplified down to something. So basic is AC. Okay, now it gets a little bigger because now we've got more stuff going on. Look at all these restrictions. No one can be a plus x can't equal 0, b can't equal 0, and x can't equal 0. So there's a lot going on there. Okay, so let's unpack this. That's going to be a over x divided by b over a plus x, okay? Which is the same as a over x times the reciprocal. Let me just flip it, invert it. Okay, there we go. Now we've got, now we can multiply all those together, and the best way, well, the book leaves it like this. Okay, so we just put parentheses here, okay, over xb. Or you could put it over bx if you are really particular about alphabetical order. The book leaves it as xb, so. All right, so that's how we do that. Then, oh, and that is it. It goes on to practice. Did that really happen? I guess so. There's no other examples. So that's it for lesson 55, which is nice because the last lesson was like 20 minutes. And then you've got 4 practice problems.